What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Journey of Finance, helping you achieve financial independence. My name is Cedric, and I'm a creative entrepreneur, filmmaker, and also commercial model, and I love everything personal finance. And so if you're new to this channel, we talk about personal finance, and I upload new videos every single week in helping you achieve financial independence. So if that's something you're into, definitely hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell. Now we're gonna react to a video by CNBC Make It, which is a YouTube channel, and I think they do a lot of different videos on different people in different financial situations, some who retire early and others who might make a certain amount of money and live in a certain area. And so they just kind of profile them. And so we're gonna watch this video on this couple that I actually know. I mean, I don't know them personally, but I do follow them on YouTube. So it was a pleasant surprise to actually see their video pop up on this channel. So we're just gonna watch it together. We're gonna react. I'm going to give some of my thoughts throughout the video, and we'll just see how it goes because I've never done this before, but I think it's gonna be fun. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the title is How We Retired Early in Portugal. Let's do it.
I never ever envisioned living in another country. And then I never had this idea of ever retiring early. Aman is the visionary and I am the strategic planner to get there.
My main motivation for FIRE was freedom to spend my time however I saw fit.
I love that. So he says his motivation is to spend his time however he sees fit. And that was his motivation for FIRE. And I love that because I think a lot of people, when they think about FIRE, they're always thinking about just the fact that they want to leave their job. Or whenever people are criticizing the movement, they're always saying, oh, these people just want to leave their job and pretty much just vacation their whole life. But I think FIRE, generally speaking, is a lot deeper than that. I think a lot of people are starting to wake up and realize that time is very finite and they're spending a lot of their time working and doing things that aren't really as meaningful to them. So I love what Aman is saying because he's basically saying that he's buying back time through retiring early and he's able to call the shots on what he can do with his time. And I just absolutely love that.
What we did was we made some intentional short-term sacrifices so that we could have a lifetime of freedom.
A little drone shot. Man, just living by the beach is so awesome.
You gotta clap.
My name is Aman Browning.
And I'm Christina Browning. We are from California, and at the ages of 39 and 41, we retired early and we moved here to Portugal.
I actually discovered their channel a couple of months ago and it sort of popped up. And I think it's because my channel name is very similar to theirs and I think YouTube just sort of recommended them. But I'm so glad that I found them. I didn't know that they actually lived in California. I didn't really go back to see like their earlier videos. But man, you know, I know California is very expensive and the cost of living is quite high and the taxes are high, especially for high earners there. So I'm curious to hear a little bit more about their story.
You thought of the idea like, I want to retire before I'm 40, right? And you brought it to me and it was like, okay, let's figure out how we can do this.
Yes. I know that I wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't for my background. I grew up poor. In fact, at one time, my family was even homeless. We were on food stamps.
Man.
My father would always say to us, we're in this situation now, but every generation is supposed to get better.
I love that, a little wisdom from the father. What you can do is pass down generational wealth and make sure that the next generation is a lot better. That power, for the most part, is in your hands, and I love that because that's what I want to do. I want to be able to give the next generation even more than I have. And not only just give it to them, but also show them the power of how to achieve it and how to actually grow wealth and how to build wealth on their own. And so, big ups to his dad for doing that. I really love that. The journey to FIRE.
So before we quit our jobs, Christina and I worked for the federal government. Christina was an attorney and she was making about $70,000 a year. And I was an urban planner for the federal government and I was making about $98,000 a year.
Oh, wow, okay, so I didn't know that. So I knew that they were actually government workers, but I didn't know exactly what their positions were. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So they actually had a decent salary. Well, I guess it depends on where they're living. At the time, I think they were in California. They had a decent base to work off of. And at least with like government work or like government salaries, you know how much you're getting paid every month. And that's that's very key in helping you to determine your savings rate and helping you to make a plan and project for the future. So I think they had that to their advantage for sure. And then they just put in the work behind that to make that happen. You have people like myself, and there are many other people out there who may not have a steady salary, or you're self-employed and your salary changes month to month. It's a little harder to project, but there are other ways around it. What I like to do is make sure that my expenses are as low as possible. I make sure it's covered at the beginning of the month, and I make sure all of that is paid. And then all the money left over, I typically invest that. And so I can't determine a savings rate every single month that's the same, but what I could do is basically invest everything else outside of all of my expenses being paid. So that's kind of my strategy, but I love the fact that they were able to project out how to achieve early retirement. Lived in Japan and Spain.
Our employer, when we lived in Spain and Japan, paid for our housing. So we had no housing costs, no mortgage, no rent during that time. People think you have to have a 6-figure salary income coming in at least every single year in order to reach FIRE, and that wasn't the case for us.
So actually 3 years ago, I moved abroad to Seoul, South Korea, and my first year, I came as an English teacher teaching in the public school system. And for all English teachers that teach in the public school system, housing is provided. So you don't have to pay rent, you don't have any housing expenses. And so I'm not sure if that's what they did, if they quit their jobs and moved abroad to work as a teacher, or if they kept their government job and they were sent overseas, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's obviously a great strategy to be able to cut your expenses and gives you more room to be able to save and invest more. So I absolutely love that, and I could totally relate.
We had 9-to-5 jobs, but we knew that we could never reach our financial independence number by relying on the income that we got from our jobs.
We invested in real estate, we lived in properties, we renovated them, and then we resold them, and that was in the San Francisco Bay Area.
So they did a lot of flipping.
We went to IKEA in the as-is section and bought all of this as-is furniture and resold it for a profit. We were dumpster diving, getting wine crates from...
Oh, we were doing everything.
Yo, there you
imaginable.
hustlers, man.
Because our 9-to-5 jobs weren't gonna get us there. But after we did things to make money and then also to save money, we also went a step further. We started investing all of that money.
We got to a point where we were saving up to 70% of the money that we came in so that we could be investing it.
That's a high savings rate,
We
70%.
made more than $400,000 in profit from investing in real estate in the Bay Area.
One thing I'm noticing about them, and something that I've sort of picked up just watching, some of their videos on their YouTube channel, is with all of the properties that they purchased, I think they actually do all the renovations themselves. So they cut out the rehab costs, or they cut down the rehab costs significantly by actually doing the work themselves, and they get their daughters involved, which is pretty cool because you make it a family thing and you're also teaching them. So that is a great way to obviously get into real estate. You purchase a property, and considering you do your numbers correctly, and you purchased a property significantly below market price, and then you're able to rehab that property to force a little bit of value in there to get it to market value for a rehabbed property, then you're able to eventually sell it for a profit depending on where the market is. And I love that. So they're able to cut the rehab costs by doing everything themselves. Achieving FIRE.
I love telling the story of our last day of work. Because Christina and I both worked actually for the same agency, we had to strategically do this.
Going into the office and telling people officially, it felt really powerful because it's like, okay, we're doing this. We're actually doing this.
I really loved the people that I worked with. I mean, I wasn't quitting the people, I was quitting the job. That was such an exciting day for us, but it was also a sad day, right?
Yeah.
Bittersweet.
It was a shock for a lot of people, but for those that were close to us, that worked with us, they knew exactly what was happening, and we were walking them through so that they could really join this FIRE journey and be on the same path that
So they're
we're on
helping
as
all their
well.
coworkers quit early. I love it. So they have their assets divided between real estate and the stock market, which is very similar to what I aim to achieve as well. So right now, all of my assets are pretty much in the stock market, but I eventually want to For right now, I'm thinking 50-50 type of thing, like 50% in real estate, or even a little bit higher I would be okay with, just depending on what I'm investing in and which markets. But yeah, I do wanna have a healthy amount in the stock market too. So that way, you're diversifying not only asset classes, but even within the asset class, you have a little diversity, especially with the stock market investings and the index funds. Trusting the process.
I've always been so grateful for having Christina there with me to be able to help me focus. And we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for us working together to achieve all of these dreams.
I didn't have a fear that we wouldn't reach it because I felt like, what we were doing was so really extraordinary. We were spending our money in the right way. We weren't wasteful. Worst case scenario, if we didn't reach FIRE, I still felt what we were doing was so positive. It was something where we were focusing our money. We were focusing on the things that were important to us.
I like that, because one of the, I guess, bigger criticisms of the FIRE movement or people who are aiming to achieve FIRE is, what if you don't ever make it? Or what if you don't save enough? Or what if you fail trying? Or what if you don't retire in X amount of time? Well, if you aim for the moon and you miss it, it's better than not aiming for the moon at all because you're gonna be further along anyway. It's better that you try because chances are you're gonna be in a much further position or better position financially. Let's just say you don't reach your goals or you need to extend your timeline a little bit more. That's fine. I think the positive aspect about attempting to achieve FIRE or really pursuing FIRE is that you're putting all of your energy into achieving that goal, and it's only going to push you forward and propel you forward. So that's what I love about the FIRE movement. Again, the FIRE movement can take different shapes and forms. So big ups to anyone who is really aiming to pursue it. You're gonna be better off trying to achieve it versus not even trying at all.
We are at a nice place where we can do certain things together.
Man.
Like we can go surfing together.
Yes.
We can go hiking together, and we don't have to necessarily worry about a baby bag.
And we always talk about, the girls grow so fast. They get so old so fast. They're 12 and 14 right now, and we still have a good couple of years with them in the house before they decide to go away to college. We weren't running from something. We always tell people we're running to something. We're looking forward to something. And for us, achieving FIRE meant being able to spend more time with each other, being able to spend more time with our girls, and have really that quality time that we have with our girls now. I want people to understand that there is a completely different path. Take a detour. Once you achieve it, you have so many options. You have such a fulfilling life once you reach FIRE.
Man, I'm telling you, man, this family, I love them so much. I just think that the main goal of FIRE, at least for me and for a lot of people, is to buy back time and to spend that time on the things and the people that are most important to you. That is the biggest lesson that I extracted from this story. And I mean, just having watched their YouTube channel for the past couple of months, I'm just so inspired because there are very few people that I aspire to emulate when it comes to my financial journey. And they're definitely one of them because they're very big on family. They're very big on passing down generational wealth and not also like just that knowledge of finance to their kids. And they're also living abroad, just living life on their own terms. I love that. I tell you what, I'm definitely more inspired to continue on my FIRE journey and just really achieving FI, because I think at the end of the day, just taking back the time and controlling the time and being able to spend it the way that you want to spend it, who you want to spend it with, and doing the things that are meaningful to you that will ultimately add value to society in some way. I think that is the ultimate goal. I love it, and I really appreciate Aman and Christina for really sharing their journey with the world. So if you have not followed them already or you don't know who they are, I'm gonna link their channel in the description. Definitely check them out. They're one of the few people that I really just admire and look up to on my FI journey. So yeah, definitely make sure you check them out. Well, I had a lot of fun reacting to my first video, and hopefully it was fun for you guys to watch as well, and you gained something out of it. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought of this reaction video, and also if you want me to do any other reaction videos, I'll be more than happy to definitely react to more videos.